Driving is a skill most adults master, and for many, it's essential for daily life. But some people probably shouldn't bother. Maybe they'd be better off catching a bus instead. Why? Because they're just that bad at it. These are the worst drivers in the world. Number 15. Bad driver drives car into mechanic's pit. When under pressure, some drivers make disastrous mistakes, like the driver of this green Pontiac. His only task was to drive carefully into a garage without hitting anything, especially the mechanic's pit in the floor. Despite a mechanic's guidance, things go south fast as the driver panics and hits the gas, speeding toward the pit. He almost makes it, but the tire catches on the gap, causing the car to tip in and become completely lodged. Getting the car out is now a major task for the workers, and the driver hopefully gave them a generous tip for the added hassle they didn't sign up for. Number 14. Woman rescues herself from flood by climbing to car roof. When her car started sinking in floodwaters, a woman in Segundo, Spain, was forced to take drastic action. After attempting to drive through a heavily flooded underpass that had been closed due to high water levels, she found herself in a terrifying situation. Ignoring warning signs, she tried her luck but soon realized her vehicle was in trouble. As the car began to submerge, she grabbed her backpack, crawled out of the passenger window, and climbed onto the roof to escape. While waiting for help, she balanced herself on the car using the open window as a foothold. Journalists covering the flood spotted her and alerted authorities, and firefighters eventually arrived, carrying her to safety through the floodwaters. According to Mayor Francisco Fernandez, she wasn't the only one caught in the flood. 9 more drivers had to be rescued from the same underpass. Over the weekend, Segundo experienced more than 100 liters of rain per square meter, causing extensive flooding. Number 13. Man fails 15 times to reverse into a wide parking space. In central China, one unfortunate driver was caught on video attempting to back his white SUV into a parking space a whopping 15 times, before giving up and walking away. The video shows 4 cars parked around a large, empty spot. Yet, each time the driver tried to reverse, he just couldn't get the angle right, going back and forth to no avail. Finally, with the help of a bystander, the driver managed to get into the spot after 5 more tries, but then abandoned the attempt to park properly. The video quickly racked up over 90 million views on YouTube, and ultimately, the driver gave up and parked awkwardly a few spaces down. Number 12. BMW jumps 20 feet and crashes into tunnel. Next up, we have a jaw-dropping case of what were you thinking? In this incident, a driver unintentionally vaulted his BMW 20 feet into the air, crashing straight into a tunnel. Surprisingly, he was completely sober. Local police reported the incident happened around 5 a.m., explaining it was likely caused by microsleep, where the driver briefly nodded off before crashing. This bizarre event should remind us all to get enough rest before hitting the road. Just 1 second of sleep behind the wheel, and you could end up flying into a tunnel. Miraculously, the driver escaped with only scratches and bruises. Just look at the car, it's incredible he wasn't more seriously hurt. Number 11. Funny parking fail. Here's another parking fail that starts off innocently enough, until it doesn't. In this clip, a driver struggles with a parallel parking job for over 7 minutes. Now, parallel parking can be tricky, but 7 minutes is a long time. The most baffling part? Near the end, even when the car in front of them moves out of the way, the driver still can't get it right. With ample space and time to park, they continue to fumble. Watching this, you can't help but wonder how they got their license in the first place. This video is a great reminder to stay alert on the road. You never know who might be behind the wheel nearby. Number 10. High-speed accident at Quick Quack Car Wash. Time to get wet and wild at the car wash. But instead of smooth car cleaning action, here's a jaw-dropping crash caught on camera. Imagine this, a 94-year-old man in an Oldsmobile accidentally hits the gas instead of the brake, zooming through a Quick Quack car wash in Sacramento, California, at 40 miles per hour and racking up around $100,000 in damage. The business owners came up with a creative way to handle this financial hit. They turned the security footage into a commercial. Someone had the bright idea to overlay the crash video with a catchy jingle, making it an unforgettable piece of advertising. Surprisingly, the driver emerged unscathed, which might just be the best part of the story. Savvy business tactics, a memorable commercial, and a safe driver? Now, that's a win-win. Number 9. Sometimes security cameras catch a gem. Being a delivery driver is tough work, especially in the heat or when there are aggressive dogs around. In this video, though, what happens is completely unexpected and hilarious. It starts with a FedEx driver pulling up to a house, greeted by barking dogs. The van soon leaves the screen, but suspense builds as the dogs keep barking. Then, from off-screen, the van begins to back up, driverless. It turns out the driver forgot to put the van in park, and now it's rolling backward. He makes a valiant effort to stop it, but ultimately gives up as it keeps rolling down the hill, narrowly missing a house. In the end, only the van door and the driver's pride are damaged. Before we continue, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Now it's time for the prime topic. The car crash you're about to hear about was so shocking that it's incredible the two women involved survived, but thankfully they did, escaping with only a few broken bones. This incident wasn't due to bad driving on the part of the car's driver. Instead, the fault lay with the cement mixer driver. The crash occurred in China when the cement mixer driver lost control, tipping the heavy vehicle over and crushing the car, trapping the two women inside. The fear they must have felt while pinned within the wreckage is unimaginable. Luckily, firefighters arrived quickly and carefully extracted the women, bringing them to safety. What would you have done in that situation? Let us know in the comments below and share your thoughts on this frightening scene. Number 8. Car flies into house after careening off-road. We've all heard of cars hitting trees, lampposts, or guardrails, but crashing into an entire house. That's a whole new level of bad driving. According to Sergeant J. Kawanaka of the Santa Fe Springs, California Highway Patrol, this incident took place around 4:40 a.m. on the 2000 block of Blakeman Avenue. A doorbell camera at Tina LeBron's house captured the dramatic moment when a Toyota Camry careened off the road, went airborne, and smashed into her home. In a statement, the sergeant reported that family members were at home during the collision, but thankfully no one was hurt. However, after the crash, the driver and a passenger were seen fleeing the scene. If I were the driver, I'd probably want to disappear too. I can only imagine he's already en route to join the bad driver club with our previous contenders. Number 7. Driver catches heel and crashes into shop window. Another mishap comes from Bosnia-Herzegovina, where a driver's heel got caught between the pedals, causing a chaotic series of events. Security footage shows her vehicle veering onto the pavement, hitting a signpost, nearly flattening a pedestrian, and finally crashing into a shop. Both the store and the car, a corporate vehicle, sustained significant damage. Fortunately, while shaken, the driver and a store worker weren't seriously injured. This close call is a reminder of just how quickly things can go wrong, even with a minor slip-up. Number 6. New driver smashes into 3 parked cars and then a wall. We all start somewhere as new drivers, but this isn't exactly an ideal beginning. While most rookie mistakes might just leave a scratch or two, this was far more dramatic. In security footage from China, a newly licensed driver tried to park and accidentally crashed into 3 parked cars before stopping, after knocking one car out of its slot. After a moment, she tried to reverse but instead hit the wall behind her, which promptly collapsed onto her vehicle. Thankfully, she only suffered minor injuries. Social media users on Weibo were quick to chime in, with some calling for her license to be revoked. Maybe a bit harsh, but perhaps a few more lessons would be wise. Number 5. SUV drives into Mighty O Donuts. What's with some drivers' tendency to crash into buildings? From tunnels to houses, some drivers just can't seem to keep it on the road. Case in point, one quiet Wednesday afternoon, an SUV crashed into Mighty O Donuts in downtown Seattle. Customers standing at the counter scattered as the SUV broke through the storefront, spraying glass everywhere. Surveillance footage shows the driver suffered only minor injuries and was quickly taken to a nearby medical center, while one other customer was also treated. Mighty OS, located at 2nd Avenue and Madison, was closed for repairs, but luckily no one was seriously hurt. It's amazing that in cases like this, no one ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes life's chaos miraculously spares everyone involved. Number 4. Driver reverses through multi-story car park barrier. In Thailand, a government employee arriving at work had a terrifying start to her day. While attempting to reverse into a spot on the 4th level of a parking garage, she accidentally hit the reverse pedal instead of the brake. In her panic, she pressed down even harder, sending her new Toyota CHR right through the concrete barrier. The vehicle ended up dangling over a 50-foot drop. Security footage shows staff rushing to help, eventually pulling her to safety through the passenger side door. The driver admitted she was still adjusting to her new automatic vehicle, explaining that she'd confused the pedals, an excuse that may not fully cut it, but at least she's unharmed. Number 3. Bus driver makes a U-turn on busy highway. This one isn't so much an accident as it is a baffling decision. What was this bus driver thinking? In China, dashcam footage captured a bus driver stopping right in the middle of a busy highway, only to attempt a U-turn across traffic. Apparently, the driver realized the bus wouldn't fit through an upcoming toll booth and decided to turn back. But instead of finding a safer place, he chose to turn the massive bus right then and there, forcing oncoming traffic to stop and wait as he painstakingly maneuvered across lanes. A bit of a humiliating lesson, perhaps. Maybe check for road restrictions next time, Mr. Bus Driver. Number 2. Crazy woman drives car into pool. For our grand finale of wild gas pedal mishaps, we have a little old lady in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado, who accidentally gave her car a Dukes of Hazzard moment right into a backyard pool. In a shocking turn of events, she somehow drove straight through bushes and barriers before plunging the entire car into the water. Thankfully, she escaped with just a few scratches and bruises and was treated at the hospital. As for her car, completely submerged. Onlookers from the neighborhood gathered to witness the bizarre aftermath, and you can imagine the frustration of the pool owners. Talk about an unwanted guest. Just goes to show, sometimes the most unpredictable things happen behind the wheel. Number 1. Woman checking out car in showroom loses control, crashes through glass wall. Here's a dealership's worst nightmare come to life. While browsing for a new Hyundai in northern India, a young woman got behind the wheel of a showroom display car. Somehow, instead of tapping the brake, she floored the accelerator, sending the car crashing right through the large glass display wall. The car leapt off a 1-meter ledge outside the showroom, plowing into 2 parked cars. Miraculously, she missed everyone in her path, though the car and the dealership's glass facade didn't fare as well. It's safe to say the repair costs and insurance bill are going to be steep, and this Hyundai won't be eligible for any new car perks. I hope this list of terrible drivers serves as a cautionary tale for everyone watching. Which of these drivers do you think least deserves a spot on our list? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to check out the other exciting content appearing on your screen right now. I'll see you next time.